My name's Adam. I'm with Cinemast.net and The Independent. Thanks a lot for taking the time to be with us. Actually, I was lucky enough to see the movie twice. I saw it at Sundance.
Oh, awesome.
So I got to see all the awesome reshoots. I like what you guys did.
Thank you.
Definitely a punchier ending. I liked it. You opened everything up.
Yeah.
Kind of getting, hopefully, I presume the goal is maybe a Cooties too, if it's... I mean, you set it up like that, so without going into...
We certainly always
story.
talked about it.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to keep working with each other.
Yeah, it would be fun to be back on a set with that bunch of people. But
in a bigger...
Yeah, it'd be nice to open up the world a little
Exactly.
bit and see what happens to the rest of it.
Maybe when it grosses 100 million, you get extra footage to do a second one.
Precisely.
Leigh, dude, you got comedy chops. I mean, you showed it in Insidious too, but like your timing in this movie is great. It's so
Good.
Yeah,
it's
that's
great.
a character I've always wanted to play, is just the person who's like might be a serial killer.
Yeah.
Just doesn't know how to interact with other people at all. So it was fun.
Maybe you can do a spin-off movie. Just follow
Doug's my
Doug
favorite
the
character.
movie.
I mean, how much of it was improv and in the script?
It was a lot of it was written. Like some of the other actors, like Rain and Nassim, were like really practiced at improv.
Yeah.
And so, but I think I mean, for us at least, it's more scary to suddenly just go off book and
Right.
start riffing with somebody. So a lot of the Doug stuff was written.
Yeah.
Well, it's also, I mean, you and Ian both, because Ian's scene feels so improvised also.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's not, I don't think it varies in the slightest, but it's also because when you're writing these scenes and have been working on them for that long, like, there's no reason to improvise when you're like, when the script has been like, that's my name, like, why?
Pull up a bowl chair.
He is so funny in the film too. Like he plays the guy that co-wrote the script plays Vice Principal Sims.
Right. He's hilarious.
I just love that line where he goes, "She's hilarious. A lot of personal tragedy."
I was digging his Kenny G hair.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
That's his real hair.
That's
It's not like
really-
he did that.
He-
And
Yeah.
he really
And
sticking with
really
that
his,
hair.
and his outfits. I mean, those
Yeah.
are not,
He kind of has a uniform.
yes, and has had it
That's
for
not far
years.
from who he actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Hi, Ian.
I'm missing. I've not seen this.
Back to improv and stuff. I gotta ask because it's hilarious. The Hobbit line, is that in the script or did Rain throw that?
Yeah,
that was one of
figured
Rain's
it was.
improvs.
Pure improv.
That's what we were talking about. On
And
the
I
way over.
tried really hard to get it cut out of the movie.
I'm sure you did. We weren't even gonna go
Democracy
there.
won. Elijah was like, "Damn it,
I
the people's
had
spoken."
to concede because
Yeah.
it gets a laugh every
It's
time.
It
so
does.
good. It's
On the way
so
over, we're like,
worthwhile.
we're not going to talk about Middle Earth, but it was funny, and it did get a great laugh.
Totally.
What I love is your look.
And
Your
the
look
little
actually
look
sells
like-
it because you're like,
That was a real.
That
That wasn't a lie.
We had so much fun.
it's
that
like
night.
somebody's reminded you of an alternate universe where you're like,
Wait.
these
These worlds are
yeah, these
basically
worlds are
alive.
like, it's like a film enemy, very
Yes.
art house.
That was hilarious. So you got the hat trick. You've done the acting, and now you're directing and writing. Oh, do you have a preference? Equal?
Oh,
You love it all?
man, it's tough. Acting's definitely the most coddled of the professions. Like you sort of just sit there and then you're like, I'm thirsty, and 10 people rappel through the nearest skylight with water.
That's got to be nice.
Writing's the most lonely. That's the one that gets the least respect. Like if you show up on set, everyone's like, why is the writer here?
Yeah.
Can he leave? And then,
But the process itself, I'm sure.
I actually really enjoyed directing. I mean, I think there's a bad version of it. I had a good time.
Yeah.
So I'll say directing.
We're pumped for it. I'm excited. There seems to be good buzz on this.
I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't go there too much because you're keeping it hush hush. Isn't it? Can you say like timeline? Isn't it going back? It's kind of a prequel type thing.
Yeah, it's a prequel. It's set before the first film.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we just, I mean,
What time period? Is it like a period?
it's a period film. It's set in 2008. So like it's a pre-Instagram world. It's sort of different. And
Lynn's character kind of isn't it?
well,
going back?
the thing is, the first two movies were about the Lambert family, and we thought they got hammered enough. You know, if you'd done another movie, it's like, it's the same family being haunted again.
Yeah.
It would have maybe been getting ridiculous. So I was like, well, who's the connective tissue? And then I realized Lynn Shay's character was probably the one that should be it. But we killed her in the first movie. We always do that, James and I. We kill off these characters, and so the only way to have her in the movie was to go back in time,
Yeah.
Unless you want her to be a ghost.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have that sort of, Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost
Sure, yeah.
situation where she's in the background going, I'm here but not really.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I'll just make it a prequel, and then we get to have Lynn alive.
The best of both worlds.
Yeah, and I also love the idea of kind of doing a mini origin story about her and how she got to where she is.
Yeah, can't wait. We're looking forward to it. Alison, you're more adorable in person. And you're really quirky.
Even
and
more.
You're a lot of fun.
It's so true.
Thank
You're
you.
so fun in Cooties. So, you've done a lot of stuff. You've got a lot of credits under your belt. You've done like 62. I looked it up. on
Yeah.
IMDb.
Yeah,
Midnight in
19
Paris.
years.
Crazy. You've got a lot. But I did notice
Veteran.
this is kind of your first. I mean, it is a comedy with horror flourishes, but this is kind of your first horror movie. Did
Yeah.
you like it? What attracted you to that part of it?
Well, I wanted to do a horror movie, and unfortunately, many of the scripts don't allow for a lot of dimension within the female person. That's not just like, you will get to be scared for 60 pages. Whereas, like, first you're like, I'm walking about my day, and that's it. And you're not a person. You're just kind of a human prop that moves around the setting and gets chased. And so within this, there's so much. There's a real character arc to this wonderful little person, Lucy, who wants the best. I mean, we were just talking about the wonderful earnestness of all of these people stuck in this situation.
Yeah.
And so when you come from this kind of, yes, there's this horrible, crazy, absurd situation happening with these children with this terrible virus. They're
Yeah.
trying to eat people. There's also like a very human story at the center of it. And so that was really exciting. Also, it made me laugh aloud.
It is
when
funny.
I mean,
And the love triangle thing is really cool.
I
I mean, you
mean,
get a lot
so
of mileage out of that in a short
right.
span of time.
I mean,
so.
it's just, and Rain is such a good actor.
God, he's good, yeah.
He's such a good. I mean, it's just, yes, he's funny as all
But
get
he goes
out,
into
but
that dramatic stuff.
yeah,
It's
and
really
and,
cool.
and so just walking that line
Right.
on everything of the drama and the comedy, the horror and the comedy. and just-
Yeah, Big Trouble in
Yeah.
Little China. And there's that great moment between the two of you on the intercom that was really, really
Yeah.
cool. It's such a cool moment. You don't expect it, because up to that point, everything is pretty much funny, and then it goes into this really serious place.
Yeah.
Back to the story, obviously the movie's peppered with all kinds of great references. The Speed 2 cruise control slayed us, and I heard that was kind of improv too.
No, that was
Oh, did
actually
you
a
write
line.
that?
Got to hand it to Ian on that one. Ian wrote that line.
Hilarious.
I always loved that line.
That's great.
It's like, your book's like Christine. Well, this book's about a boat, so it's
Yeah.
like Speed 2. Like, I just thought that was so random and weird. The
Yeah.
improv
And
part
how
was you guys
quick-
riffing about Jason Patrick.
Which was hilarious.
It's true. I think there are many minutes of Rain talking about Jason Patrick.
Yeah.
There's just many minutes of him going into listing his movies and how just great he like just finding. That's the best part of improv, when you can take like one line in the script and then be able to
Love it.
have created one man's obsession with the actor Jason Patrick for no other reason than it's so weird and funny.
Yeah.
Like, why would that be? He's just a huge Jason Patrick fan, and then you discover
Aren't
this
we all
awesome
Jason
thing.
Jason
Well,
Patrick?
obviously, but he's even more so.
Yeah.
I love that
That's
improv
great.
you did where you go, they're not lost, they're vampires.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That got a good laugh.
It's
Good
so
laugh.
Alison.
It's so good. It's like, "Alison, do this." That was funny. And I got a great laugh last night too.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, and then in the background you hear Doug go, they got lost.
They're wrapping us up. One
right.
couple other quick things. Elijah, first of all, you've done it all now. I mean, you've had an epic career too, all over the place. And we love what Spectre Vision is doing, the way that you champion horror. We're going to go see The Boy tomorrow. We're really
Great.
excited.
Oh,
Directing,
Yeah.
interest? I mean, you've done everything else.
Yeah,
Why not?
I have massive interest.
Do you have something in mind?
I think
maybe?
part of it is that I haven't like opened that door in my brain to sort of start it. Like as an actor, I think I'm more motivated by filmmaking than I am by playing characters. I just want to be a part of
The whole process.
the creative process and working with people collaboratively towards this common goal that we're all excited about. So that's what I get from it. So I sort of feel like I've had that sort of in my head for a long time. So no, I'd love to.
I think it'd be cool.
I would love to. I just love filmmaking. So
Do you think you would direct a horror film?
That's what
I don't know. I actually think that horror films are deceptively difficult to make good.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a misconception that it's easy to make a horror film.
Yeah.
Because there are these sort of, there's this very wide palette of approaches. But I actually think to do that successfully, especially considering how many have
maybe easy
have
to make a horror
repeated
film, but
themselves.
not easy to make a good
I think it's
horror film.
difficult. To make a good
Yeah.
horror film, I think is very difficult.
Like,
I think maybe people approach it like, if I just tick these boxes,
But you don't want
everything
it.
will take care of
Yeah.
itself.
But you don't want to tick those boxes. I think that's the
That's what.
thing.
Yeah.
Did you see the Babadook?
Yes.
I mean, it's
Oh, it's wonderful.
phenomenal. Like I love
Genre and
Yeah.
horror cinema is doing real fine right
it.
now.
Absolutely.
It's pretty
Um,
exciting.
Girl Walks Home at Night.
Yeah.
I think that's the second most acclaimed horror film
Last
last
year.
year.
It's incredible what came of that film.
Yeah.
I'm so pleased that it found an audience. I mean, we always believed in it and think it's extraordinary.
Yeah.
Lily's an amazing filmmaker, but at the same time, we kind of knew that, well, it's black and white, it's in Farsi, like it's not gonna, it had limited commercial potential,
Niche, yeah.
but it totally found an audience that far surpassed, I think, our expectations. It deserves it, and it's a really, those kinds of things give me hope. So I think, well, shit, it's like the Let the Right One In.
Uh-huh.
How that found an audience in the States, and you're like, well, wow, that divide suddenly of people not wanting to see a foreign film is gone. If it's good, they'll see it. That's a really beautiful thing. It's exciting to see that when it happens.
We'll keep on championing the horror films. It's so cool that we love what Spectre Vision does.
Oh, thank you.